What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Swanky Disc Golf. Today we have a tier list for you that is long awaited, at least on our end. We have been throwing Discraft for a long time. I'm very excited, have a lot of opinions. I will say this list is not completely exhausted. It is exhausted.
You're exhausted already.
This list is not completely exhaustive. These are some of our favorite discs. So there will be some discs that aren't in here. It's either because we don't throw them a lot or we haven't thrown them at all, maybe.
We can't do their whole line.
Can't do they have an insane amount of molds, it turns out. Comment down below your favorite Discraft disc if we missed it. Let's jump into the list now, starting off with the Zeus. The Zeus is Paul McBeth's distance driver in his line that he doesn't throw. He definitely used to throw it. I used to throw it too. I do like it a lot, and for that reason, I'm gonna put it in good. It doesn't do anything special for me. It is a 12 speed, slightly overstable, so it's kind of like below a force. If you're trying to throw an overstable distance driver in Discraft's lineup and you can't throw the Nuke or the force, throw a Zeus. That's like the next step down. Try to see if you can throw that. If you can't throw that, just keep working your way down the list.
Yeah, I feel like they were trying to do the destroyer thing, and it's a little bit flippier than a destroyer. I feel like that's what most of the pros say anyway.
Yeah.
It's a little too overstable for me anyway, so who even cares?
Yeah.
Let's move along to the Hades.
There you go.
The Hades is the people's Zeus. I'm just kidding. It is a great disc, very understable, 12 speed. But it is an interesting one because I feel like it's just the same as the Thrasher in a lot of ways in their own lineup. So it's a little bit hard for me to say it's really special. It's obviously very beautiful. The PM line discs look amazing. I think I might just toss it in good above the Zeus.
I think the Hades is pretty great, but we'll move on from that real
I
quick.
think it's great too. I just don't think, I think there's some other discs in here that are probably going to be even better.
Even better.
And so I'm going to put it in good and call it good.
Interesting theory. For those of you who don't know our tiers, we have Swanky, great, good. I'd throw it over water. Dog toy. I'd throw it over water means maybe it has a niche purpose, like I'll keep it in my bag for one throw around, or could also mean like I don't really care about losing it, so I'll throw it over water. So that's that tier. All right, next we have the Athena, which the Athena is really good. I like the Athena. I will say, I don't know, they were so late to the game with having like a 7502 disc that having like the T-Bird, do you need, I mean, if you want that Discraft plastic, I guess, their plastic's so good. I'm going to put this in good below Zeus, honestly.
Okay. We're on a good streak right now.
I know. They need to do something really special to hit great.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put it in good. I throw the Cookie in that slot. Before the Cookie, I threw the Instinct. Before the Instinct, I threw the T-Bird. And I have thrown the Athena quite a bit now, and it's just not, like, the Cookie has something kind of special to it. It's got smooth rims. The T-Bird has just been around forever. The Instinct even has kind of got some, like the Vapor Enigma plastic is pretty much, or Vapor Enigma plastic. The Vapor plastic from Discmania is pretty much why I love the Instinct. But
pretty great.
Yeah, the Athena's not doing it for me.
Interesting. I really like the Athena, but I'm like a 750203, like truther, hardcore. Those are my favorite discs. But now we're moving on to the Passion. The Passion is incredible disc. Very special, unique stuff happening with the Passion. If you've ever held one, you know there are very few beaded fairways that feel like a Passion.
Good.
It is actually super comfortable.
Yeah.
It's got something like, I don't even know if you'd call it beaded, but it's got a bead at the end of the
I don't know how to describe it, honestly. It's like an interesting parting line. I don't know but the best way to say that.
the ESP ones are extremely straight flying. The glow ones have bite, and I mean, this is Paige Pierce's best disc in her lineup, far and away. I might stick this one in Swanky. I think the Passion is our first
I've been
Swanky
seeing a lot of
Discraft
pros throw it also, which is funny because like it's pretty understable to straight flying, I guess. Like you said, depends on the run. Right. The glow ones are actually not super understable. Yeah. they beat in to be understable, but the pros have been throwing them a lot, and it's a great amateur disc. It's got the whole spectrum. It's got a lot going for it.
And it's just
Really
super
good.
unique. If you haven't thrown one, you should really pick one up.
Really
Very
good disc.
cool disc.
Up next, we have the Raptor. The Raptor also doesn't really do it for me. It's, of course, a staple in Discraft's lineup, but that's because, like, every company that has a 9-speed, like an overstable 9-speed has, that's their, like, one of their staples. It's the Firebird. Yeah, I think, well, I would literally throw it over water because I know that it's going to, you know, fight the headwind, fight the water.
Yes, true.
I don't know, though, because it's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of iconic also. I'm going to put it in and I throw it over water.
Oh.
For literal the purpose of, like, the reason it'd be in my bag is just to fight headwinds or to use as a utility disc. And I feel like I like the Firebird better. We just threw the new DGA Avalanche. I even kind of liked that a little better as far as hand feel goes. And they can kind of, the Raptor has not been the most consistent. For as consistent Discraft is, I should preface with that, they're very, like every manufacturer struggles with consistency a little bit. Discraft's at the top of like pretty darn consistent. The Raptor, I feel like, maybe it's just because it's such an overstable disc that sometimes it's hard to continually put out super overstable discs in that mold. I don't know. Sometimes they're not as overstable as advertised. That's all I'll say.
That's facts. Yeah. That's facts. Okay, the Scorch. This is an interesting one. We reviewed it on the channel, but I haven't thrown it a bunch.
Newer disc.
Newer to the lineup. 11 speed, straight flying-ish. I mean, it's designed to be max distance 11 speed, I think, because it's got the turn to really give you a full flight. I really liked it when we were throwing it. I think it's probably more useful in an AMS bag that can't get the full flight out of something like a Zeus or a Nuke, which is me. We're talking about me right now. I like it a lot. 11 speeds feel really good in my hand as well. They're just more comfortable than 12 speeds, so I kind of want to put it in like high, good, low, great. I'm looking at the rest of this list.
Scorch.
I don't want to just continue to stack good, but I think this is where it goes, and we reserve the right to move them later if needed. I think it's high.
Do we reserve that right?
We reserve that right. We reserve the right.
I don't know.
I think high good is where it belongs right now, but we'll see how it shakes out.
Up next, we have the Heat, which is pretty understable. It depends on what plastic you get in. I do like the Heat. The Heat was one of my first drivers ever.
Yeah, OG.
The obviously the X-Line Heat is just insanely understable. The Z Heat is pretty understable. You can get a big Z Heat that's actually not understable hardly at all. So you can kind of pick your plastic and your stability, but it's a really good fairway driver for just about anyone. I feel like I see pros throwing it as a roller disc or like knifing hyzers sort of shot shaping. See a lot of amateurs using it for more distance, more shots in the woods and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I actually like the Heat, and I think I'm going to put it in great.
That's actually really surprising to me. I love that, though.
I like the Heat.
I love it. Okay, moving on to a very similar disc to the Heat is the Avenger SS. Slightly faster than the Heat, 10 speed. I want to say it's even flippier than the Heat. I think it's -4.1, where the Heat might be -3.1. I'm just spitballing that off my memory. I don't actually know. The Avenger SS is widely used by pros as a roller disc. It's widely used as for AMs as max distance shot. So it's very similar to the Heat, but I don't have the same fondness for it that Luke has for the Heat.
I don't either. I don't know what it is.
I wonder what that is. I'm just looking at this list and I'm wondering, what are we going to put in dog toy? You know? And I'm thinking...
I think there's one. I think there's one in there.
There's one in there?
Yeah.
I think maybe Avenger SS is bottom of good or top of I'd throw it over water, or maybe even bottom of I'd throw it over water. I think I'm going to put it here.
If you throw this over water, it's going to whoosh.
Put it on hyzer and throw it over water. I think it'll hyzer. It's just what I mean by throw it over water is it's the flippy disc in my bag that's not my go-to flippy disc in my bag.
Yeah.
You know, so like if I need to hit a shot, I'm throwing it over water. I'm risking the Avenger SS
It also
before I'm risking my
has
nice
a little
molds.
bit more stability in different plastics. If you get their like big Z plastic out of Discraft is always super overstable. But the Avenger SS truly is like I feel like more of a beginner specific disc. Maybe it's just because the heat is a little bit slower. I see more like high level amateurs and some pros using it. I feel like the Avenger SS is really like, if you're a beginner, this is your very first distance, like moving out of beginner into distance drivers.
Yeah.
This is your very first 10 speed distance. Well, literally it's in their starter packs. It's like, here's your distance driver.
And it might be like top
which
5
is good
beginner distance drivers.
Yeah, that's true when you think about it that way. But it's not versatile. I feel like the heat is similar, can very much so be your first fairway. It's a 9-speed, right? 8-speed?
The Avenger?
Yeah, the Heat.
Oh, the Heat's 9-speed?
I think the Heat's a 9-speed.
9
Sorry
speed.
if I'm wrong there.
I think it's 9.
But the Heat could be your very first 9-speed, but it's also a little bit more versatile. Like, I feel like you can hold on to it for a little bit longer than the Avenger SS. That's just my opinion. Speaking of 9-speeds, we have the Undertaker. Which the Undertaker is just more stable than the Heat, and probably a little better, if I'm being honest. It's like you keep the Heat in your bag, but then you get an Undertaker when you can throw a little bit farther.
Yeah.
You know,
and then the Undertaker starts doing things for you that you really
exactly.
like.
I'm gonna put it in great. I'm gonna put it above the Heat.
Yes.
Because I still think the Heat is great. I think the Undertaker is just like step up. Literally, yeah, just one step up from the Heat. It's
Dude,
great.
I think I might be realizing that Discraft's fairway lineup is sneaky goated. Like, really good fairway lineup.
That's true.
It's
I mean, I'm
underrated.
shocked that the Hades is not in great right now, but we won't address
I'm
that.
similarly shocked by the Athena, so
That's true.
it is
I
what
know.
it is. All right, coming up next, we have the Discraft Meteor. It is a 4-speed. I think the stability is 0, 0, or 0, 1.
Stability does not
Very.
exist.
Oh wait, no, it's flippier than that, isn't it?
I think it's super flippy.
It's super flippy. Maybe -3, 0. I think I'm off base there. I think
I
it's
don't know.
very flippy meteors. You guys let us know in the comments.
Forgive our numbers knowledge.
I used to have one in the bag,
I used to
and-
bag one as well.
and they're really good. They feel amazing in the hand. They're that more rounded,
Really
4-speed.
shallow, I feel like.
Yeah, dude. They actually feel incredible. I'm a big fan, and I think also, is it good? Is it great? I think I'm gonna put it here. Here, fine.
You put the Meteor above the Hades?
Fine,
Man, what
dude.
in
The Meteor is
world?
great, and most people could really benefit from having one in their bag. They don't know
The
it.
Meteor is above the Athena right now, and the Zeus, which is pretty wild. I mean, the Athena maybe could have gone above
I
the
think
Zeus.
more people would benefit from having the Meteor in their bag than the
Yeah.
other two.
That's true.
The Meteor is a sick mid, and understable mids are like
I think they're
shot
slept on
shaping,
also.
incredible discs.
Yeah.
For the woods, I love the Meteor. You should go get one.
Up next, we have the Meteor is great. I had a Jawbreaker Meteor that I did not have a great experience with.
Oh, dude, those were
super,
sick,
super flippy. Looked incredible.
The
That's why I
Ledgestone
bought it.
ones?
Yeah, the Ledgestone
Yeah.
Jawbreaker one.
That was
It
sick
hit
disc.
one tree, and it was done. It was like warped.
I
pretty
had a
dramatically.
Z one that was really nice, and then I got Brody's
Yeah.
Dark Horse one. That
Oh,
was really
nice.
too.
Before we move any farther, actually, I want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by, not really, it's brought to you by the Swanky Disc Golf Show. Some of you might not know yet, we have a podcast that comes out every Tuesday, and it covers a variety of subjects. Sometimes it's expanding on what we've talked about on videos. Sometimes we're breaking down Pro Tour events. But we talk about a lot of fun stuff. We've already had Robbie C as a guest on there. So be sure to go check it out. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. It's a ton of fun, and we would love for you guys to come hang out with us there. So,
Definitely.
Swanky Disc Golf Show, look us up. Up next, we have the Buzz, and the Buzz is going to Swanky. And the Buzz is
Absolutely.
going to the top of Swanky.
Top of Swanky.
If it'll let me. I freaking love the Buzz. I know it's overrated as all get out and whatnot. Or I think it's just rated, though. It's so
Maybe
good.
next time.
I know a lot of people probably expected this disc to be like the best thing they've ever felt in their life, and so they pick it up and they're disappointed, which is understandable. I did not have such preconceived notions when I first got a Buzz. and I just loved it. I feel like for me, it flies farther. And again, it's so subjective. When I throw a buzz, I'm able to throw it farther than I am most any other mid that I've picked up. Not a hex guy. I have not converted. I love the buzz. Call me white noise because I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I hated that joke. But I love the buzz, and I think it's accurately rated on this list. All right, next, Onyx. I think this is probably Swanky's, the general Swanky group's favorite PM line disc. I think we'll see it in great. Super great, overstable fairway driver. Some of us have these first run ones that are a little bit flippy.
Glide? 10-5,
I think it's 10-603. 10-603. Some of them can be a little bit unstable, especially like the first runs that came out were a little bit flippy. They kind of fixed it, and it's reliably overstable now. A lot more like you'd get something like a PB.
Yeah.
They fly a lot more like that. They're a little bit more comfortable in my hand. I really like the Onyx for flip up forehands and for just really the Onyx is a great distance driver. I mean, I know it's a control driver, but for most people, and me included, I'm not getting my distance drivers a lot further than I'm getting my Onyx. I really love the Onyx, so top of grade.
Great. I agree. I think I might put it in Swanky. It was probably the first disc that I ever which was funny because it was definitely too overstable for me, but I picked it up and threw it kind of like a Firebird, like any amateur would throw a Firebird. And then it got flippy, and I started getting really good distance. I had one of the first runs, and it got really flippy. Yeah. And I was like, this is like a distance driver. This is awesome. It was one of the first discs that I ever lost and then immediately went and replaced. Like, I can remember never doing that. I was like, cool, now I'll go try a new disc. But I lost an Onyx, and I was like, I have to go buy another one. I love the Onyx. I use it now as more of just like a longer Firebird kind of thing. Up next, we have the Malta. And this is the one that I think I'm putting in dog toy.
I agree.
This is the dog toy. It's the absolute worst disc in the Paul McBeth lineup. Yeah. It doesn't feel good. I don't know how to describe it best. Overstable mid-ranges are tricky. Overstable mid-ranges have a tendency to feel really blocky. That's why they call the Mutant? The Mutant, they call it the Cybertruck. Because to get that overstable feel in a mid-range that's slow and super overstable, it starts to feel like a block. And the Malta, in the worst way, I think, feels kind of like a block. And I have thrown it quite a bit. I bought one and tried to bag it for a while. Does not fly farther than a zone. And it's pretty much the same overstability. And I could genuinely throw my zone farther. So I was like, it doesn't do it for me. Especially, I think they have the Buzz OS in their lineup and a couple other overstable mids. I don't think I've ever seen Paul McBeth throw a Malta. Maybe.
I think he doesn't bag it. I think he bags Wasps now.
Yeah.
But, like, I think the point is, too, that, like, it was trying to replicate the Rock 3. And if you've ever held a Rock 3 and a Malta side-by-side, not even close. No. So the Rock 3s just feels so much better in the hand as a beaded, overstable mid. And the Malta might be more overstable than the Rock 3, which is part of the problem, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's pretty overstable.
Yeah, I agree with this placement. If there's any Discraft disc that's a dog toy,
yeah, and that being said, like, Discraft does an amazing job with pretty much everything. It's just in comparison of Discraft. So realistically, this is a great disc.
But in the hierarchy
compared to the Passion and the Buzz, the Onyx, we got to put it down in dog toy.
Agreed. Okay, the Nuke, straight in dog. I'm just kidding.
Will freaked out for a second there.
Gotcha. No, I don't bag one, and I'm never gonna throw one. They're too big for my hands. I don't know. My 13 speeds don't go with these. So, even on forehand, it feels a little bit uncomfortable. But a lot of people love this thing. I feel like even more than the Force, this was like the distance driver for Discraft before the Zeus came, and it still is for pros. I think between this and the Force, but. I feel
like I see more people throwing the Nuke than the Force.
You think so? I think it's probably more popular. It's just it was their iconic disc. I think it's got to be in good for me because it's not like, I don't know, is this controversial?
I'd say so.
I'm doing it. I think that's sort of where it goes. It's not very AM friendly. Sorry, Will. I know you love throwing it. It is a pro level distance driver, and yeah, it's just it's not for a lot of
like
people.
we said, this tier list is subjective. This isn't our opinions.
Yes.
And that's, for the Nuke, if you're an amateur who cannot throw at least 450 feet, maybe more, it's a chopping forehand disc, or like you're trying to skip it around something disc, which is how Will throws it. And it's very consistent for him. Like, he knows he can just throw it on Anheuser and it's going to do the same thing every single time. So in that sense, it's great. And I think there's a use for that. I think there's some toxicity in, like, if you're an amateur, you shouldn't be touching these discs. Stop buying these discs. What's wrong with you? Like, if you're not trying to go out there and win tournaments, throw whatever works. This is a whole thing, but we were just a while ago, we were at a league round, and somebody got an ace on a 200-foot hole, maybe, and he threw a wave, and it was a 200-foot hole. But that guy made some money that day. So it's like, do whatever works, man. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, and I mean, Will just beat me at Little Mulberry Park League by 4 strokes with his Anheuser Firebirds, and I'm like trying to throw the line, and I'm just like, okay, I guess you're just better, like skill issue.
Hey, what works, and what works is the zone. The zone works.
The zone works.
We're just keep
Boom.
going.
Number one.
Boom. It won't let me. But yeah, this is definitely the number 1 disc in the world.
This is definitely the Swanky
and the Discraft lineup. Notably missing from this list is the Zone OS. We have, at the time of this recording, not thrown a Zone OS yet.
It just came out.
To be decided, but the Zone is so good.
The Zone and the Buzz are both discs that are in all the Swanky Guys bags, I think. And that's actually pretty rare. We don't all bag a lot of the same stuff.
We actually have very different opinions for the most part, different throwing styles, but we all bag a Zone. I think most of us bag a Buzz. I think we all
bag a Buzz. I don't remember if Josiah does, but the rest of us do, for sure. Okay, Force. Again, this is like the actual distance driver that the pros use. That's like when they thought maybe Paul was going to use the Zeus.
This is the
Destroyer. I think he throws the Force now. And he might still bag a Zeus, but the Force is like the 12 speed for Discraft. So I think I'm going to put it here. I think it's probably their best distance driver unless you're counting the Onyx. It's way more AM friendly than the Nuke, in my opinion. And you can get runs of them that are going to flip up for you. And because of its just longevity as a Discraft's like flagship distance driver, I'm going to put it in great.
I like it. I bag one specifically for very, very windy days because I cannot throw it the way it's meant to be thrown. But if I'm like, anything else I throw is going to not work, I throw Force.
Yeah.
The Force and the Fierce. The Fierce is actually really good. I like it. I like the shallow rim. I think more people should throw the Fierce. Like, I think people who really like the Luna but want to throw, like, better should throw the Fierce. I don't know how to say that.
Better.
I like the hand feel of the Fierce better than the Luna. Personally, I'm going to put it in good, though. I still don't think it's, like, doing anything crazy. But I do think it's above the Zeus. It's definitely above the Meteor, which is, like, I'm going to put it right there.
Yeah, that seems about right. I mean, it's not crazy. A lot of people putt with it, though. All right. Up next, we're down to our last 3, guys. So be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content.
Be sure to subscribe to the channel if we excluded a disc that you love.
And be sure to like the video if we ranked everything incorrectly. All right, going into the last 3, we've got the Thrasher. Now, I just put the Hades in good, and I do think they're the same disc. But the Hades is prettier, and they make it in a ton of cool plastics because it's got Paul McBeth's name on it. They're way more marketing the Hades than they are the Thrasher. I don't know why. I mean, the Thrasher is a Tour Series disc for somebody. I think it's Missy Gannon last year. I don't know if that is again. I kind of want to put it in good. I kind of want to put it in I'd throw it over water. Because if I had a Hades and a Thrasher, I'm throwing the Thrasher over water so I don't lose my Hades.
Yeah, that's true. You can get the Thrasher for a lot cheaper though, if that means anything.
That's true.
Because it doesn't
The
have probably
good
best
tier
name.
is so oversaturated right now.
It's not all the way filled up though. There's plenty of spots left.
That's true. There are a lot of slots left. All right, I'm gonna put it in the bottom of good. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
Although I do think the Athena should be in great, but you know it is.
Yeah, I just it doesn't do anything super special for me.
And that's the unique part of our lists is that we only control half of it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why we do this format, but that's what we landed on. The Roach, I feel like, is actually a very easy decision for me. It's very good. It's above the Thrasher, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Below the Athena. The Roach is super underrated also because
I think so.
it does what a Luna does. It feels maybe a little bit different in the hand. So I'm sure there's a couple different dimensions considering it's a different mold. But for all intensive purposes, it flies very similar to a Luna. And it's half the price. There you go. And the final disc
is the Luna. And there are people out there, Robbie C included, James Sterner, you've seen him on the channel included, that can throw a Luna so far.
I know, it's crazy.
And they will tell you a Luna is a cheat code. They'll tell you it's a mid-range disguised as a putter. And I've never been able to throw it that far, but I do really like them. I think it's a great disc. So I'm going to put it here. I don't think that's that controversial. It is awesome, but it's not. I think it is also, or at least it was when it first came out. For a few years, it was super overrated too. Everybody was like, the Luna, it needs to be in everybody's bag. And I'm not sure that that's the case, but if you love throwing putters really far, if you can do that, you could probably throw a Luna further than I can throw a driver.
Yeah, no, they absolutely bomb. That is the list, guys.
There it is.
Let us know what you think. I'm happy with it. I like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also check out the Swanky Disc Golf Show. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're there every Tuesday. Upload.
Every time.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Stay swanky.